was it like growing up, and what are some of those stories that those encounters that you faced?
Definitely. Well, as I said, growing up, Muslim and from a Muslim background, and growing up in Iraq, and like I said, one of the things I've said before is that my father was never around, and that has really affected my life because, especially for me, growing up, not having a father around, I see the things that I had to deal with because of not having a solid father in my life, and I know that my dad would abuse us growing up as kids, and like basically put us in a closet and like choke us with pillows and do stuff like that. That was very like extremely hurtful, and traumatizing, honestly, to see that. And it was just like he would only like basically just have sex with my mom, and that's what he would do to us and stuff like that. And it was extremely hard to comprehend that growing up because it's like when people ask me, what's your memory of your father? And all I can remember is the abusive things that my father has done to me. So that kind of played a big factor when I kind of came to try to when I've accepted Christ into my father. And a lot of people were like, God is the father. And I look back on my life and I was like, oh, but my father did this to me. So how could God, So it's like I had to comprehend that and understand that it's two different things. And but it definitely has affected my life in various ways, growing up and learning to love, or honestly, I can say like learning to respect women. That was a huge factor of me because my father was never there to teach me and to discipline me and tell me this is how you treat women, this is the way you love them and care about them. I kind of built my own idea, my own picture of how I should treat a woman, and it wasn't always the best picture. I could say that honestly, and but it was definitely traumatizing growing up and seeing things that a normal kid doesn't see, like being exposed to like pornography, being exposed to by my family, and being exposed to like traumatic things like when my uncles, hung my mom on a tail pole and stuff like that, and she was like begging them to stop and things like that. So it's like all those
So
traumatic.
what happened there? I mean, I think I'm not sure if I if we've heard this story, but what happened there, Mo?
Right. Well, what happened there, it was basically my uncle hung my mom on a tail pole because he thought that she was doing something wrong, doing something I guess I could say like unholy. And in my testimony video, what I said is that in Islam, like if you made a mistake or made an issue, you would have to pay the consequence of it. And that was the consequence for my mom, was my uncle would do that to her, and he would that's what he did. That's his way of showing, saying like, hey, like this is how you're gonna learn. This is what's gonna not now you're gonna learn. You're never gonna do it again. And it was really sad to see it happen right in front of my eyes and experience it. And at the same time, so it's like that's what my uncle did, and my mom was just like crying and begging him like to stop. And then it was actually the neighbors that kind of went and called my other uncle, and my uncle comes and he looks at his brother and he's like, hey, like what are you doing? Like put her down, like this is not right, this is your sister. And after they talk, and it's just like he finally puts her down, and my uncle ends up saving my mom. And sometimes I look at those times and I'm like, man, like what if my mom could have been dead, and it's like, will we still be here, or will we still be who we are today? And but yeah, that's kind of the story of what has
It's
happened.
insane, man.
Wow.
Be sure to check out the full episode wherever you get your podcasts.